Hey realtors, do you want to know the one thing that separates successful realtors from struggling realtors? It's simple. It's the buyers and sellers they attract and choose to serve. Now, once a realtor commits themselves to only working with cool premium buyers and cool premium sellers that are in the top 50% of their market's price point, oh my gosh, their entire world changes. Let me explain why this is. Of course, the obvious difference is that when you sell a home for 2 times as much, you're gonna earn 2 times the commission. But there's more to it than that. For the people that are selling in the bottom 50%, money is so much tighter for them. This means many times they need a seller. If it's a seller, right, in the bottom 50%, they need to sell for a certain price. And many times that price just isn't reasonable. And when it comes to home inspection issues, these sellers that are in the bottom 50%, they dig their heels in. They say no to everything, and thus they sabotage their own success. And the buyers in the bottom 50%, like they're shopping for more home that they can afford. So they're going to be asking you to put in unreasonably low offers on homes that are out there in their quote unquote price range. And these buyers many times ask you to cut your commission. And after they go pending on a home, they tend not to have a surplus of money. So when the home inspection occurs, they ask for everything, like the GFI outlet isn't working, or the roof needs some super minor repairs, or whatnot, right? They want to include all that in the unreasonable conditions on the inspection request form, and they end up losing the home, which ultimately means this realtor is going to be doing a lot of work for very little results. The folks in the bottom 50% of the price point generally have more time than money. Okay, so they're waiting 6-9 months to even find a home in the needle in the haystack bargain type of thing, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand where both sides are coming from. The reality is when realtors work in the lower 50% of the market, they generally find themselves doing twice the work and for half the commission. And I think as a realtor, you owe it to yourself and to your family to earn as much money as possible in as little time as possible. Now, the successful realtor not only focuses on the top 50% of the price point, but they also work with cool premium buyers and sellers in that category. This means they don't chase down FSBOs and they don't chase expireds. They don't do any of that nonsense, right? Like, oh my gosh, why would you want to work with somebody that already doesn't even want to work with a realtor, which that's like a FSBO. And it's a reason that it's just not worth your time, and it's not worth your effort and mental energy to solve. But other than those commission checks, why else would a realtor want to work with people in the top 50%? Well, see, the buyers in the bottom 50% generally have more time than money. And the buyers in the top 50% have more money than time. This means that these folks don't want to mess around. To them, time is money, and they just want to get what they want. They kind of want it now because that's how it generally works for them with the rest of their purchases that they've made. They want the transaction closed in as short as time as possible. And when it's time to sell their home, these people in the top 50%, they just want it gone. And when a buyer in the top 50% finds a home they want, if they got to pay an extra $5K, $10K, $25K, $50K to get the home, they do. Why? Because they just want it. See, these top 50% buyers aren't going to haggle over a broken GFI or a carpet stain. These are the problems that can easily be solved, and it's not worth it to start the home search again just because of a grape stain. So in 2020, the average home in the USA was like $330,000. And heck, at that price, a realtor needs to only work with 2 families a month to add $300,000 to their bank account over a full year. I think when you look at the numbers, the commissions earned and the hours worked, it just makes sense for realtors to focus on the top 50%. So why aren't more realtors specializing in this price point? I think it's because most traditional realtors don't know how to attract these cool premium buyers and sellers. So instead of engaging in systems and strategies that actually move the needle, these kind of struggling realtors find themselves posting on social media, purchasing weak leads, circle prospecting, chasing FSBOs, expireds, wasting their time on websites and branding. It's the realtors who find themselves entrenched in these activities that just tend to struggle, and that's not fair and it's not fun. Instead, what these realtors should be doing is focusing on just one of the 11 ways of attracting these cool premium buyers and sellers that are in the top 50% of your market's price point. And 7 of these 11 ways cost less than $200 a month to implement, and it only takes a few hours per week of your time. And what's so great about all 11 of these methods is any realtor can jump right in and start getting immediate results. Hey, I've seen an 18-year-old college student with no experience, no sphere of influence, no money, no marketing. Heck, she didn't even own a car. Her name is Jamie, and she drove her mom's 220,000 mile minivan around. But in her first summer, she generated 36,000 GCI, which is one buyer and one seller. And at the other end of the spectrum, you've got Anderson. Anderson, gosh, he was an experienced realtor before he started doing my CPS3. And in some years he was bringing in 200,000, in some years it was close to zero, because he just didn't have a system. And he was working his butt off. He was logging in 70, 80 hours a week, and he was never home. But then he implemented just one of the 11 CPS3 strategies. And not only was he able to cut his hours in half, but in the next 12 months, he generated $1.1 million of GCI. And sure, Jamie and Anderson are different in just about every way imaginable, but they both have 2 things in common. First, they focused on attracting cool premium leads in the top 50% of their market's price point. 2 is they were handsomely rewarded for it. So if you're a realtor who wants to join the top 1% of realtors who not only earn in excess of $300,000 a year, but working 30 to 50 hours a week, then join me in my upcoming live online CPS3. And during this event, I'm gonna show you all 11 ways of attracting these cool premium buyers and cool premium sellers. But I'm also gonna show you exactly how to take those leads to pending in the shortest time possible, usually 21 days. In a nutshell, this means that following this event, you'll have more leads and more GCI in less time and with less stress. So click the link, attend the online event, and join the top 1% of realtors living a life that is easy, lucrative, and fun. See you there.